Nowadays, so many big private companies are trying their hands on not just building and developing the rocket, but with their aim of making multi-planetary human life possible. Among those private companies, Elon Musk's SpaceX is the most famous, and looks like Firefly Aerospace has finally joined the race. In September, two Firefly companies' first ever rocket, Alpha, was launched, and on August 16, 2021, SpaceX launched its first all-civilian Crew Dragon capsule to space. We can't deny the fact that it'll be very interesting to see how many future events unfold for both of these companies, Firefly and SpaceX, because both of these companies have true potential to make game-changing innovations and evolve the Earth and rocket science in a whole different way. And this brings us to our discussion today. Welcome to our channel, where today we're going to talk about Firefly Aerospace, SpaceX, and the recent rocket launches, the shortcomings and problems occurred during the launches, and many more details regarding its developments. But before we start our video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell icon so that you never miss a video from us. Now, let's start with the Firefly Alpha versus SpaceX, the race. Sure, it might sound a little dramatic if it fits the situation. Everything around Firefly Alpha is just like a movie, but only it's the reality, and SpaceX, well, anything related to Elon Musk is never not dramatic. Before moving on to the actual comparison of all the minute details, let's give you all a little bit of background check regarding both the companies and their respective projects so it's easier for you all to catch on. Elon Musk is a name that almost everyone around the world is very familiar with. Elon Musk has always been someone who's never afraid of dreaming. Since the moment he founded SpaceX, it has always been his dream to send the first permanent civilization to Mars, to build bridges that connects both Earth and Mars. He wants to make multi-planetary human life possible. And guess what? Elon Musk's SpaceX has already taken the first step towards his dream. And all thanks goes to their recent rocket launch, Crew Dragon capsule, popularly known as Inspiration 4 mission. The Inspiration 4 mission created the historic moment by flying off to space to the highest altitude, surpassing the Hubble Telescope Service mission in 2009, but also created the history by flying with all 4 civilian crew who had no prior experience with space traveling. The mission not only kick-started a new era for SpaceX, but also marked its new beginning in the whole world. This historic launch took off from Launch Complex 39A, NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida at 8:04 EDT p.m. We always watched it on movies with normal civilians flying to space, but never before did we ever think that one day 4 civilians will fly to space. No wonder Elon Musk is always said to be the person who makes every sci-fi movie turn into reality. If SpaceX can make history by launching all civilian crew rockets into space, Firefly comparison to space might not be that big, but still, they launched their company's first ever orbital test flight. This rocket was named Alpha. Firefly's Alpha rocket was launched on the 2nd of September from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California at 9:59 EDT p.m. It was launched nearly hours after its initial try was aborted because of its late countdown. Well, till now, everything sounds just perfect. And then you all might ask what failures and shortcomings we were talking about earlier. Don't worry, we're getting there. Yes, everything was going according to the plan for the first 2.5 minutes of Alpha's flight. But very soon, the two-stage 95-foot-tall or 29 meters Alpha suffered a very fatal problem, and just like we said before, everything surrounding this mission was dramatic. So the explosion was dramatic too, just like a fireball in the sky of California. Firefly representatives tweeted regarding this issue. They tweeted, quote, "Alpha experienced an anomaly during first-stage ascent that resulted in the loss of the vehicle. As we gather more information, additional details will be provided." They also further tweeted, quote, "Prior to entering the countdown, the range cleared the pad and all surrounding areas to minimize risk to Firefly employees, base staff, and the general public. We're continuing to work with the range, following all safety protocols." Well, you all right now might have the question if anyone was hurt. Then let us inform you that officials from the US Force themselves addressed the situation and said, quote, "There were no injuries associated with the anomaly. A team of investigators will convene to determine the cause of the failure." They said that Space Launch Delta 30 wing terminated Alpha rocket over the Pacific Ocean after the anomaly. But this thing should be noted that SpaceX achieved their aim of sending the first all-civilian crew to space, and not just suborbital visits for 20 to 30 minutes, but for a 3-day experience of orbiting around the Earth at every 90 minutes following a specific path set by SpaceX. The Crew Dragon capsule, accompanied by the Falcon 9 rocket, very smoothly kicked off and launched itself to space. And the moment the Dragon capsule smoothly sailed without any hassle, it definitely marked its significance in the pages of history. This Inspiration 4 mission definitely marked a new beginning for SpaceX itself, but it also removed all SpaceX's competition right now. Be it Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson's Blue Virgin or Virgin Galactic missions, they only opted for suborbital flight. But here, Inspiration 4 missions is not only an orbital flight mission, which they successfully achieved, but also a flight with full civil crew. Can you all just imagine with SpaceX monitoring each and every move and data of the Dragon capsule and the crew members through their installed Apple devices and Apple Watches, how much scientifically these are going to help SpaceX to figure out what do humans require to survive in space smoothly for a long run? It'll be revolutionary. With all the new data and information that they will get from the crew members before and after their journey will give us in-depth knowledge and probably holds the key to Musk's dreams of making human life in multiplanetary turn into a real possibility. But just because Firefly's Alpha was a failure doesn't necessarily mean that it's out of the race. Before Firefly, many, and when we say many, it's really a lot of casualties to have occurred regarding spaceflight. Flying to space was never an easy thing. It has always been hard. But we constantly challenge these obstacles and overcome them. And for a brand new rocket like Alpha, failing its first flight is very natural. For example, look at some of the other companies who are also competitors of Firefly and SpaceX. These are Rocket Lab, Virgin Orbit, and Astra. All of these three failed in their first orbital attempts. So when you look into their failure, it's not that much of a big deal. This is just the start of Firefly. We can't assume their future and potential based on just one test flight. For sure in the upcoming future, Firefly has more amazing plans stored in for us. Who knows, maybe this company will one day surpass all its big competitors. Traveling into space surely is gaining a lot of attraction nowadays that many big private companies have started building their own rockets and spacecrafts with their aim of making traveling into space much more easier and convenient for civilians. Elon Musk's SpaceX with its historic Inspiration 4 mission surely gained a lot of attention from around the world. Well, definitely for good reasons. No one cannot be hyped about the first all-civil crew rocket to launch with the aim of attaining the highest altitude of at least 572 kilometers. Surely this is a historic moment, but although Firefly's Alpha didn't make it to orbit, it surely stands as a worthy opponent against SpaceX. Firefly being very recent compared to its competitors, they developed Alpha on which they tried their first test flight to suborbital. But just after 2.5 minutes of its smooth flight, it exploded in the night sky of California. Just because of this explosion, we can't entirely mark them in total as a failure because before Firefly, many other big competitors' rockets exploded and missions failed too in the first try. So many new opportunities are waiting for Fireflies who knows in the future it'll come up with something or achieve an extraordinary height which leave each and every one of gasping. But if we're talking just based on these missions reports, then definitely SpaceX's Inspiration 4 is leading this race between SpaceX Inspiration 4 and Firefly's Alpha. Musk's unique concept and different renowned scientists and technicians have made this historic and epic moment possible. Are you all excited for what both Firefly and SpaceX has in store for us in the near future? Because we sure are. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and share the video, and we'll see you again in the next video.